Hello, my friends. This past week, I came across an article that kind of states the obvious, and yet there was something new to the way that I heard it. And it said simply that, or if you feel like you've hit a wall in the last week or so, you're not alone. That there's something about where we are in the cycle of this pandemic that we've just, perhaps it's the fact that we're in the middle of winter, perhaps it's how long it's gone on, perhaps even though there's good news, there's also an element of fatigue that so many of us are feeling. And that's not even if you or someone you know has been directly impacted by COVID. I started talking with Joe about it, and we realized we're both feeling it. And the more I connect with people, there's this large sense of exhaustion. This has been a long period of time, and we feel like we've hit a wall. Perhaps you're feeling that way as well. Well, we're about to begin the season of Lent, which on one hand doesn't seem like what the first thing that comes to mind when we think about what is it that's going to help us to sustain our faith and our energy in the midst of that. But when you think about what that season is, and we begin Lent this coming Wednesday with Ash Wednesday, but what is Lent but a moment in the cycle of our year when we not only recognize that we are in a wilderness place, but we also see that this wilderness place often defines large parts of our lives, whether we're in Lent or a pandemic. It doesn't really matter. That's often a part of what it means to move about and live in this world. And by observing Lent, by taking on the practices of the season, we get a kind of manual for moving through the wilderness. We develop the muscles that help us to move through those wilderness times. So there's not only something sacred about Lent, there's also something, I think, profoundly encouraging about it. We'll be at the cathedral, we'll be doing something called Lenten micro practices. We've sent these out in the packets that if you had requested a Mardi Gras and Lent packet, we've sent out physical copies of this. But if you would like a copy, let me know, or let Ginger or Adrian know, and that way we can get it to you electronically. We'll also be sharing this each day over our social media channels. And these are they're actually something that my wife, Jo Nygaard Owens, created that allow us one day at a time to exercise those wilderness muscles, to do those little things that help to nourish and heal our hearts in hard times and carrying us into better times as well. If you're hitting this wall, as so many of us are, remember to be gentle with yourself. Remember to keep praying. Remember to trust that we will get through this and that God is richly present in the moment of it. And reach out to the people who can offer you help, who can be a conversation or a prayer partner. Perhaps talk to a friend about what are they doing with their micro practices. That kind of accountability can be really rich and help us through it. My friends, I ask you to join me in prayer. God be with you. Loving God, we offer thanksgiving for your presence with us in the wilderness, in moments where we are fatigued and tired and don't know how much longer we can go on. Give us a measure of hope. Give us a measure of strength. Help us to put one step in front of the other. Help us to see just a little bit farther ahead. Help us to lift our eyes, to look ahead, not just to the moment, not just to the chaos and the pain of this day, but to remember that you made us, that you hold us, and that you are guiding us to a fuller life. We give thanks for that. We give thanks for your Son, Jesus, and ask that you be with us as we begin a holy season of Lent. Amen. My friends, blessings to each and every one of you.